One of the highest qualities that should describe any child of God should be the ability to love. Should be the ability to love even the unlovable. The world calls some people unlovable today. So one of the qualities that we need for all of us who are born again and for those of you who are not yet in the love of God is that giving your heart to the love of God turns you into a lover. Giving is important for the continuity of the gospel. It's important because where you fellowship, your local church needs your money to make the place comfortable, to clean the bathrooms, the toilets, and make the place look good for you. So you give to participate in making your local church attractive to you. And I encourage you, give to your local church. It's important. When you do that, you are allowing the gospel to continue. Hello and welcome to Expansion Revolution Nagas. Thank you so much for joining me. I am continuing my discussion on the nutrients of the spirit man. In this episode, we are arguing about certain things that the spirit man needs in order for him to become strong, to go far, and to be able to achieve and arrive at the destiny that God has created for each and every one of us. Your spirit man needs to be empowered, needs to be able to learn certain skills of surviving, fighting the battle in the spiritual warfare to win, and fighting the battle in the physical world for him to win. So we are looking at nutrient number 8 today, and it is called giving. Giving is one of those things that once you have given your life to Jesus, you are saved, you are now growing, you are praying, you are studying the Word of God, you are fellowshipping with other believers. The next thing that you need to learn is the art of giving. John chapter number 3, verse number 16 is actually a verse that I believe that majority of you would know it. For God so loved the world so much that he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish but have eternal life. God is a lover, and as a lover, he is a giver. I'm going to repeat that again. God is a lover, and as a lover, one of his major and first attributes is that he's a giver, because you can't love without giving. When you give your life to Jesus, you are falling in love with Christ, and falling in love with Christ then begins to change your heart and your way of thinking and aligns it with the way of Jesus thinking and Jesus priorities. And one of the things that the love of God, which should be able to do in your heart, is to transform you into a lover. One of the highest qualities that should describe any child of God should be the ability to love. Should be the ability to love even the unlovable. The world calls some people unlovable today. So one of the qualities that we need for all of us who are born again and for those of you who are not yet in the love of God is that giving your heart to the love of God turns you into a lover. I think we need to talk much more about the love of God, because it is the love of God that will give you the appetite to love people that the world rejects. It is the love of God that will help you to go beyond judging people to accepting people just as they are. Because you suddenly recognize Jesus loved me as I was and gave himself unto me. Why should I judge other people rather than me accepting them and giving whatever I have to them so that they can benefit? So that's what the love of God does. It has to transform you. The first stage of transformation is causing you to become a lover. It should be easier for those of us who are born again to be lovers, because we have experienced love and we have been saved by love and we are led by love, and love is in our hearts. However, part of the contradiction is that majority of the time is that because only your spirit man is born again and is filled with love, our emotions are filled with hate and with certain ideologies that are coming from the old man, which does not agree with love. But love is the key factor. And here is what every love should lead every lover to do: to give. So once you are born again, you should become a lover, and loving, there is no loving without giving. He who wants to love should be willing to give. That's the call for every husband and the call for every wife and the call for everyone who wants to get into holy matrimony. There should be the willingness to give. The call to love is the call to give yourself continuously. And the call to salvation is the call for us to give ourselves unto the gospel. Why should we give our resources, especially money, for the gospel? Here are the basic reasons. Number one is because we believe in the continuity of the gospel. We've experienced something that have changed our hearts, and it happens because somebody somewhere sacrificed to give us the gospel. The preaching of the gospel, it's expensive. The gospel is free, but preaching it is expensive. It requires money. So when we give money into the church, towards our churches and towards evangelistic campaigns, we give our money because we want the continuity of the gospel. And because we understand the preaching of the gospel is expensive. The gospel, though free, preaching it is expensive. Right now, whatever we are doing here, it's cost. Electricity is running, cameras are on, everything here, it's cost. But as we do this, we do it because we believe that we need to continue this gospel to reach other people. And that's my second reason for why we should give in the churches that we belong to as brethren, is that number one, we want the comfort of worship. I think one of the things that people have taken for granted is to think that the church does not need comfort. Church, it's a place of comfort by origin. Look at the ingredients that were used to make the temple in the past. You'd see they use gold and everything nice. So we should give so that we enjoy the comfort in our churches. And I think part of the problem with majority of where we are is we like comfort in our homes, in our offices, but we don't want it in the church. That's not right. The house of God should be filled with good things, including good furniture, good chairs, good comfort, good sound system. It is part of why we give. We give because when we go to church, we don't want our pastors and our leaders to be struggling with sound and with chairs, and we sit on the floor and it's not clean enough. We give for the comfort of our homes. That's very important. So giving is important for the continuity of the gospel. It's important because where you fellowship, your local church needs your money to make the place comfortable, to clean the bathrooms, the toilets, and make the place look good for you. So you give to participate in making your local church attractive to you. And I encourage you, give to your local church. It's important. When you do that, you are allowing the gospel to continue. Right now, we are running this program because there are people in this church who are giving to ensure we are able to take this gospel to all parts of the world and to whoever is watching today. So giving allows us to do a lot. And I encourage you, if you are saved, develop the art of giving. And once you're giving in your church, learn also to give to people in your family. Learn also to give to your relatives. Learn also to give to charity. People you don't know and people you meet and who demonstrate needs or who demonstrate lack. Learn to take something out of your pocket and give, because you are led by love, and love can never demonstrate its highest level of support without giving. So I encourage you today, one of the things that should happen to you after being born again is that your heart should be transformed from being a stingy heart to a heart that gives and the heart that supports the gospel, because the gospel have changed you. That's why I preach this gospel, because it has changed my life and helped me to become a better person. And I believe there's somebody right now who needs this gospel, who need to hear this word to be empowered to become the best version of themselves. So I give because I believe the gospel should continue. And as a church here, we believe that we are giving as we are running this platform towards you, and we are empowering you. And as we do that, we are helping to create the continuity of the gospel. Make sure that you don't just attend a church where you go to. You attend it, but you also support the work of God where you are by giving. And God will bless you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think I'll see you tomorrow.